Welcome to another edition of the Noles Podcast. I am your host, Gregory McCoy. This podcast is by a fan for fans. I am not a journalist. I am not a reporter. I am not an insider. I do not work for a website. The majority of my content comes from me, in my opinion. Other information comes from the internet. Today is January 22nd, 2020. And I got about 6 different segments here that I wrote for this episode. And I want to share those with you. So let's go ahead and get started. Does Florida State have the fortitude to turn this thing around? And this is what I wrote about that. Does Florida State have the fortitude to turn this thing around? If we are speaking from a player perspective, I say no. I don't care who the coach is. If you have any pride in yourself as a football player, you should go hard every play. When you're not giving it your all, what's the point in playing? This dude, TJ Rushing, leaves for a bigger payday at Texas A&M. Fortitude as a player comes from within. No coach can coach that into a player. My point with Rushing is players can't depend on a coach to motivate them. They have to play every snap, and you have to play hard every snap, and you have to want it for yourself. Wanting to win and having the fortitude to overcome adversity will always be a part of football. That's one of the things that makes this game great. Once again, I take the wait and see approach when it comes to coaches, and the loyalty is always to the money. The players, it doesn't matter who the coach is. You have to go out there and put good tape out there for the NFL to see so you can make it to the league. You can't depend on a coach to motivate you and to get you to the point that you want to be in life. This guy TJ Rushing, man, just like, why did you even come to Florida State? Why didn't you just hold out for the Texas A&M job? I hate that. That's why, all the pundits, all these podcasters, all these website experts, Norvell is assembled a great staff, and the guy ain't even been on the job a month, and he leaves. And everybody wanted Terrell Buckley. For good reason. We know Terrell Buckley wouldn't do us like this. He went to Florida State. He feels a sense of allegiance to Florida State. He should have been the top guy for that job. I think he's universally recognized as one of the best DB coaches in the game, and he should have got that job. So let me know what you think about that segment. My next segment is entitled During the Football Drought, What Do You Do? And this is what I wrote about that. During the football drought, which is usually February after the Super Bowl, so February until late August. I usually play football video games to fill the void. The college game and the pro game. This year we got another fly-by-night football league. Maybe I'll try to get into something like that. March Madness helps out. Pro basketball helps out. Never really was into baseball. I really don't watch a lot of TV like I used to. I used to be into comic book TV shows, but they got kind of corny. MMA and boxing also help. It depends on who's fighting though. And usually the second signing day for college football is another thing that helps me cope with no football. This is big, man. Like, the football season goes so fast. I just can't, it just goes so fast, man. It's like, starts in August and then just bam, it's February. It's crazy. And Then you wait 7 long months, and if your team stinks, then you just like, I've been waiting 7 months for this. It's just crazy. So, let me know what you think about that segment. What do you do to fill the football void when football is done for, 7 months? And moving on to the next segment, which is going to be, what if Florida State had a billionaire investor / booster? And this is what I wrote about that. Having a billionaire investor or booster would help this program tremendously with facilities and recruiting. I would like Doak Campbell Stadium to actually have seats instead of benches. Maybe we could buy better players. I hate to phrase it like that, but we all know this is commonplace in college football. A billionaire booster could help this program get back to elite status faster. All your big time programs got money coming from somewhere, and it's not from bowl games. The more money a program has, the better the talent you can acquire. It's just facts. I wish they would open it up and stop this charade of student athlete. We all know boosters run college football. Can we stop pretending like we don't know it already? I mean, we all know this, right? Money runs this sport. Money runs all sports. So, it's no different, man. When you got a top recruit and the big schools come a knocking, it's just understood that certain bags have to be delivered. Read between the lines. So, I mean, it's just a part of life. I mean, college football is a microcosm of life. And, the sooner we can get over that hump, the better off we're going to be. So let me know what you think about that segment. My next segment is entitled Jameis Winston versus Joe Burrow. Jameis Winston versus Joe Burrow. Both are 6'4". Jameis Winston weighs a little bit more than Burrow. They both had virtually the same career. Heisman Trophy, national championship, one bad season. Jameis Winston was more highly coveted than Burrow. Burrow might have a better pro career than Winston. Winston has struggled in the pros, throwing 30 TDs and 30 interceptions this past season. That is crazy. In my opinion, you put Winston, say, with the New England Patriots and with Belichick's discipline, you would have a special talent. The most I would pay Jameis Winston is $25 million. No way he gets $40 million. Joe Burrow, I think, will be a really good pro. The pundits are saying he's going to Cincinnati. If they still have A.J. Green and the running back from Oklahoma and get some pieces on the offensive line, you might have something special on offense. Their arm strength looks about the same to me. Burrow has better accuracy. Burrow, I feel, can grasp a pro offense better than Winston. Therefore, I say Joe Burrow is the winner of this comparison. Joe Burrow, to me, is just a better quarterback right now. I know that he played in college, but he was running a pro system. I mean, we'll see when he gets to Cincinnati, man. I'm a Jameis Winston guy. Not really a Jameis Winston guy at the at the NFL level. I don't think he's kind of regressed during his NFL career. I think he needs to get around some more discipline. And we'll see what happens with that. But man, I just thought Jameis Winston would have had a better career to this point by now. So let me know what you think about that comparison. And I'm going to move on to the next segment, which is which non-Florida State, or let me say this over, which non-championship team at Florida State was the best. Now, in my opinion, because I went to virtually every game this particular season, except for the bowl game. I didn't go to the bowl game, but I went to pretty much every game this season, home and away. I feel like the 1997 team was our best team, and this is why I feel that way. 1997 was the best team not to win a championship, in my opinion. They were one call away from going to the national championship. I think they could have beat Nebraska or Michigan that year. Michigan and Nebraska split the national championship. 96 through 2000 was probably the greatest stretch for this program. It only netted one national championship, but Florida State was in contention every year. Some will say the 1991 team or one of the teams in the late 80s. I respect your opinion, but the 97 team should have won it all. Bobby Bowden made a bad call by kicking the field goal on the 1 yard line instead of going for it. And if you don't get it, it's 1st and 99. Okay? He kicked it off. All right. They ran it back a little bit, and then Steve Spurrier just bombs away to Jaquez Green, and the game was over. I've probably rehashed that like on several episodes, but that was a national championship appearance to me that got away. So I just felt like that was the best team that didn't win a championship. And let me know what you think about that segment. So moving on to the next segment, which is entitled Anthony McFarland, the worst commentator in sports. I think we all can agree on this. One second here. All right, Anthony McFarland, the worst commentator in sports, without a doubt. The 4-letter network, you have ruined Monday Night Football. It's a joke. Joe Tessitore is the only voice that's keeping that thing afloat. Why hasn't Mike Golick gotten a shot at Monday Night Football? He is gold. Right there in Bristol. He would be way better than McFarland. He just says a lot of bonehead nonsense. This man said in the games, run the ball on 3rd down and spike it on 4th down. Then one game he said J.J. Watt wasn't out there to bat balls down. I'm like, what are you talking about? Or just if you don't want to put Mike Golick out there, go get Tony Romo, like everybody's saying. I think Tony Romo is overrated, but he's light years better than McFarland. McFarland is a 5-star garbage commentator. So yeah, man. I can't even find the words to even describe Booger McFarland, man, as a commentator. He's just one of the worst. I'm trying to figure out how did he get that gig. Okay, Swagoo would be better than Anthony McFarland. He would be way better. And they just continuously march him out there. I think I don't know what the 4-letter network is thinking, man. But it is what it is. Hopefully they'll fix it and put better people on Monday Night Football. I wish they would put it back on ABC. Because the 4-letter network has basically ruined Monday Night Football, man. So that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. It's available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify Podcasts. If you're listening to this on YouTube, please scroll down to the description. Rate, review, subscribe. I really do appreciate your support. And as always, go Noles.